Aston Martin has far surpassed expectations this season, so it's hard to be disappointed with their performance in Spain. However, the team itself seems to be disappointed. Despite Alonso's impressive achievement of securing 5 podiums in the 6 races leading up to the Spanish Grand Prix, the team never truly appeared to be in contention for a podium, mainly due to Mercedes making significant strides with their new car. This raises the question, should Aston Martin be genuinely concerned about their performance in Spain? Or was it merely a one-off occurrence? If there are concerns, what actions can they take to address them? Additionally, what was the story behind Alonso defending his position against Stroll for the last 8 laps? All of these topics will be explored in depth in today's video. But before we do that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button below if you like all things F1. Alright, let's get back to the video. 2 cars into the points of a challenging but fruitful afternoon at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, where Lance came home ahead of teammate Fernando, was how Aston Martin summarized their debrief following the Spanish GP. In the previous season, having 2 cars in the points, particularly achieving positions as notable as 6th and 7th, would have been a celebration. However, this statement doesn't resonate the same way in the current season. Alonso, who has been securing podium finishes, should be competing for even higher positions, while Stroll's performance seems to align with expectations. Starting 6th on the grid, Stroll maintained his position thanks to Lando Norris's early mistake and Pierre Gasly's struggles with pace. Sergio Perez's progress up the field was predictable, but George Russell's remarkable surge from 12th to 3rd place must have sent shivers down the spines of the Aston Martin team. Previously, Russell would have faced difficulty in securing points from that grid position. However, something has evidently changed. Saturday's qualifying session did not bode well for the upcoming race. Despite George Russell and Sergio Perez failing to advance beyond Q2 and Charles Leclerc's surprising elimination in Q1, there were plenty of opportunities at the front of the grid that Aston Martin couldn't capitalize on. Lando Norris showcased his skill by securing a podium finish in 3rd place, while Carlos Sainz impressed with his 2nd place finish. Based on the performance of the first 6 races of the season, both of these positions should have belonged to Aston Martin, but they were simply not in the contention. Although finishing in 6th place doesn't appear too disappointing, the fact that there was a 0.18 second gap between the driver and Hamilton in 5th place is a significant margin in Formula 1, almost akin to a country mile. Alonso encountered difficulties when he ran wide onto the gravel at the final corner during his first qualifying lap in Barcelona. Despite recovering to secure 12th place in Q1 and 8th in Q2, he believed that with a better car condition for Q3, he could have made it to the front row. Unfortunately, a mistake on his final lap regulated him to 9th position. The team made gradual repairs to the car's floor during the breaks between sessions, adding to the challenge for Alonso as he couldn't predict how the car would behave each time he went out. However, despite these setbacks, the race should have yielded better results. What factors hindered Alonso's performance during the race? Did other competitors simply improve, leaving Alonso behind? Or were there other factors at play? Throughout the race, it seemed that they lacked the pace to match those ahead of them. They finished over a minute behind Max Verstappen's exceptional performance in the Red Bull, who had an outstanding weekend. Their previous largest gap to Red Bull had been 38 seconds, so over the course of the 66-lap race, they lost almost half a second per lap compared to previous races. They also trailed Ferrari's Carlos Sainz by 18 seconds, whereas Alonso had finished ahead of him in every race prior to this one. And let's not even discuss the gap to Mercedes, as it would require an entire video to analyze, which will be released later this week. For some reason, the specific characteristics of the Catalonian track didn't suit the AMR 23 well. However, Such variations are commonplace for Formula One. It's natural for one car to be faster than another at times, as Red Bull is currently demonstrating. These cars are highly specialized, and the variations in track characteristics from race to race can lead to a reshuffling of the order, adding excitement to the sport. It is well known that Aston Martin performs better on lower speed tracks. Given the alterations made to Sector 3 of the course this season, it was expected that Spain would present a challenging situation for Aston Martin. Regarding concerns about Mercedes, the answer is undoubtedly yes. Aston Martin introduced a new rear wing, front wing, and beam wing for Barcelona. But unfortunately, these upgrades did not yield the desired results for the team, which is quite worrisome. Upgrades are usually expected to provide a performance boost, but Aston Martin ended up losing half a second per lap to Red Bull, allowing Mercedes to surpass them in the Constructors Championship. When Fernando Alonso was asked after Friday's practice if the new parts were aiding his performance over the weekend, he responded, "They do. They do absolutely. There is not a new part that we put in the car that is not helping the performance. That's something that has been always the case with the team from Bahrain. So I'm happy with the upgrades, and let's see tomorrow when everyone goes to full power where we are." The weather conditions on Sunday differed significantly from those on Friday, and the changes in track temperature might have played a role in Aston Martin no longer finding an ideal setup window. Nevertheless, the drop-off in performance from Friday to Sunday was quite shocking. Following the race, Alonso expressed his disappointment with the upgraded AMR 23, stating, "We didn't have the pace, so that's the biggest problem. And it was not that we were unlucky or on different strategies or anything like that. I think we were slow compared to the Mercedes. Slow on the soft, slow on the hard, and we just concentrated on the Alpines, Alfa Taurus, and kept up the pace with the Ferraris. At the end, I think we outscored the Ferraris this weekend because they only scored with Carlos and we lost points with the Mercedes, but they have done a better job this weekend. So let's try the next one." Fernando Alonso added, "Ferrari is not Aston Martin's competition this season. Mercedes is. The battle lines in the Constructors Championship are already clearly laid out. Ferrari is not involved in the battle for second. That's going to be between Aston and Mercedes. So being slow compared to them, as Alonso says, is massively concerning." When questioned about the team's performance and whether it was influenced by the specific track or upgrades brought by rivals, Alonso admitted that both factors played a role. He said, "I think the track wasn't ideal for us. Right from the start of the practice session, we had to deviate from our predicted setup. Therefore, we had to put in a lot of work throughout the weekend to find a setup that made us satisfied. It was a bit of a new experience for us. Additionally, I believe the upgrades introduced by other teams may not have revealed their full potential in Monaco and Miami, which are street circuits. However, today we saw that they might have gained some strengths here. Nevertheless, I'm not concerned. There will be better and worse weekends, and we will have our opportunity in Canada." Furthermore, Alonso eagerly anticipated a completely different race in Canada. He also voiced his determination to take on Red Bull, but shared his concerns about Mercedes, stating, "They are fast and they pose a challenge to us. They have been consistently strong throughout the year, and their drivers have been performing exceptionally well." Alonso's astute observations regarding consistent drivers were on point. Hamilton has consistently thrived when provided with a competitive car, which has undeniably been the foundation of his successful career. Additionally, George Russell's impressive performance, exemplified by his remarkable overtaking of Sergio Perez and subsequent climb from 12th to 3rd place, demonstrated his ability to achieve extraordinary results. In contrast, Aston Martin's lineup lacks drivers of comparable caliber. Alonso's true character shines through for everyone to see. As a two-time world champion, he is undeniably in top form, perhaps even experiencing the peak of his career. However, Aston Martin faces a predicament with Lance Stroll. Alonso's action during the final stages of the race shed new light on the team dynamics. Around lap 60, Alonso rapidly closed the gap on his teammate. Despite clearly being the faster driver, he conveyed over the team radio that he posed zero risk to Lance and merely aimed to create a gap between them and the cars behind. Although Alonso could have easily overtaken his teammate, he chose to remain behind, even taking a moment to wave to fans from his cockpit while still engaged in the race. A commentator went as far as to describe this behavior as embarrassing for Stroll. Alonso has made it clear that he is there to support Lance and help him become the lead driver for the team in the years to come. However, it seems Aston Martin must be rewarding him handsomely for the coaching he provides his teammate during races. Offering advice on brake balance, that certainly makes sense. Giving credit for a great pass he witnessed on the big screen, impressive awareness, and a nice comment. But openly declaring to the team that he won't fight his teammate, even though he easily could, especially when they are battling for second place in the Drivers' Championship. That's just madness. I'm sure Alonso is earning a fortune for Aston Martin, and he's simply relishing the opportunity to be in a competitive car once again. However, for Lance, it must be humiliating. Moreover, for the team, Lance's performance could cost them second place in the Constructors Championship. Despite being the ultimate team player throughout the weekend, Alonso did express some criticism of his team. He stated, "We still need to speed up things. I think Ferrari is already 2 steps ahead this season. Mercedes clearly had a completely new car in Monaco, and the team has to introduce more upgrades here. Red Bull had a specific package in Baku and another one here, so we understand that we're not in that position yet. Aston Martin ought to be worried about Mercedes' performance in Spain. However, what's even more concerning is how swiftly Mercedes adapted their car to imitate Red Bull's. Hopefully, the Aston Martin team has significant upgrades in the pipeline, although their unexpected push for second place in the Constructors' Championship could come to a swift end. Will they be able to bounce back and reclaim their position in the championship battle? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.